Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I'm going over what happened in the past 2 weeks on my account, as well as my upcoming monthly plans for November. So first off is 2 weeks ago, what happened with the equipment farming results then. At that point, I only got 6 SSRs the previous week, and this week I got 10, which is a pretty good amount. Much more normal than the 6 that I got that previous week. Of those 10, there were actually 3 items that I ended up keeping. So I kept the Bloodline Magic Armor, which was my 6th one. I've kept my Oath of Justice, which was also my 6th one. And I kept an Aeolus' Battle Armor, which was my 4th one. So while I kept them, none of them are the critical pieces of gear that I need, but they're well worth keeping. After that would be last week. And last week I ended up getting 13 SSRs. So improvement on the 10 I got that previous week. 13 is actually very high, so I have no complaints there. Of those 13 though, I only actually kept 2. I kept the blue star simply because it allows me to make a level 50 blue star, meaning I got 4 of them. And I kept the Tenuous robe, which is my 6th one. The interesting thing here is, even though I got a Tenuous robe, which is great, I may very well not use it at this time. And the reason I'm not using it is because getting a good enchant on this Tenuous robe will be an issue. I'm currently focusing my enchants on leveling up other heroes, so I don't really have time to commit a lot of enchants into upgrading a Tenuous robe for it to be usable. So even though I want to use it, it'll be very delayed. My limitation right now seems to actually be enchants rather than gear, if you will. So that's kind of a, good to have item, but I won't be leveling it up for quite some time. Other than that, my crystal count and voucher count, I guess, 2 weeks ago was at 62 vouchers with 10,632 crystals. I did 110 summons on the Landius and Helena banner, well, Hobo and Helena I should say. 20 summons got me Hobo. And I did 90 more summons, and I ended up stopping there because those 90 didn't get me anyone. So I'm currently waiting on a pity rate summon, and thus I'd rather just save this pity rate for another banner, and so I'm just gonna wait until maybe the next banner, but more likely I'm going to wait until the Overlord banner. Right? The next major update banner is what I meant. So if I assume I didn't actually use all of these summons, what I ended up getting was 65 additional vouchers and 3,040 crystals. So clearly, I very clearly converted some crystals into additional vouchers for a 65 voucher increase in 2 weeks. So my banner results chart was getting too big with far too many rows, so I've trimmed it down a whole bunch to make it much more readable, and this is what we see so far. First, from September 2019 to August 2020, which was a full year, I did 2,420 summons, and out of those 2,420 summons, I got 52 SSRs. This is equal to a 2.15% SSR rate with 9 off banners in that time period. More recently, which is from September 2020 and October 2020, my SSR rate has been actually really terrible. For example, when I drew on the Yulia and Maya banner to get Maya, I had to do 100 summons to get 1 Maya. On a second summoning on Rin and Ariane Rod, 60 summons got me 2 copies of Ariane Rod, which is actually quite good. But then on the Rosalia Noemi banner, I did 70 summons for 1 copy of Noemi. Hobo and Helena was initially amazing, where I did 20 summons for 1 copy of Hobo. But then I tried to draw for a second copy of a hero, and I did 90 summons, and I'm currently at pity rate. So currently, I've done something like 340 summons for a mere 5 heroes. Of course, I know that when I do my 350th summon, I'm going to have 6 heroes, which would raise up my SSR rate quite significantly. But right now, due to the current status, my SSR rate has dropped to actually 2.11% due to me being currently waiting at right before a pity rate. It's going to jump up, I know, as soon as I get the next SSR, but still. It dropped from that, at one point I was at like 2.2% SSR rate. It's now at 2.11. I'm sure it'll go back up a little bit, but I'm hovering around the 2% rate. A little bit above it, of course, because of the pity rates, where whenever you hit 100 summons, you're guaranteed to get an SSR. That certainly helps adjust your SSR summoning rate above 2%. So next, let's talk about the upcoming banners. So for November, the first banner in November is going to be a Destiny Summon banner with Geralt and Layla, Knight of Mystery, and Elucia. No events are currently expected for this banner when it's released, so it's very possible that they'll put in a missing event to fill in that, to just have some events running at this time. So some of the events that we've been missing include the Rachel and Varna Valentine skins, the Egbert Drummer skin, Narm skin, the maid skin for Narm, a Chinese New Year event, an 18th Gate of Fate run event, and a Geralt and Layla Shards event. So all of those are potential events to get run. After this banner, in November 12th, which is the following week, we're supposed to have a Ledin, Rachel, and Ultimuller Destiny Summon banner. So along with this banner, there is supposed to be a Macho Lotto with Rainforce's skin. So another thing to look forward to then. We've already seen Rainforce's Macho Lotto skin in the currently running event. So after every Macho Lotto, of course, will be the next major update. And the next major update is going to be Florentia and Tsubame. So one is an assassin, the other is a healer who can also use tactician skills at the end of her turn. So she kind of gets like two actions. She can do her regular action, then use a tactician skill. And the tactician skill includes things like providing healing to allies, providing an act again effect to allies, stuff like that. So she is quite versatile if you can fit her into your party. I definitely can't. I can't grind her up even, her shards that is. So I'm not planning to use Florentia at all. I don't even plan to draw for her. Along with that banner, there is supposed to be the Time Ref 16 that's released, and that will conclude the story of Langrisser 4. 5 3C skills will be released with that major update, and they are Florentia, Tsubame, the two new characters, Lanford, Alastriel, and Deedlit. So a good mix of characters. Lanford is more PvE oriented, but Alastriel and Deedlit are both very PvP oriented, and they're getting their 3Cs, which is always good. And finally, for that month, the exclusives are expected to be Brenda's exclusive and Oliver's exclusive. Moving on. So the final week of November will have Shilinka and DiHarto summoning. For me, this banner would be a potential chance to draw for lots of copies of Shilinka, potentially. That would be because I do have a 6-star DiHarto. Unfortunately, if I'm being realistic, I need to save up my Trinity vouchers for the Overlord major update in December. So with that coming in December, there's no way I can afford to waste summons to get duplicate copies of Shilinka, which is a shame because I really do like Shilinka as a hero. It's just, yeah, there's no chance of me being able to draw shards of her this way. So it's an interesting banner for sure, but for most people, I imagine they're all going to skip it. Other than that, that week is going to be releasing a new Secret Realm event, and that new Secret Realm event is supposed to be like a roguelike, which is called Epic Voyage of the Seven Seas. Also, after every major update, they normally do release some skins that following week, so I'm expecting some kind of skin release for that week. It could be a rerun of a previous skin event, or it could be one of the brand new events with skins. Like as I mentioned, we were missing quite a few skins previously, so they may very well release it on November 26th. Last but not least is my shard farming plans for November of 2020. So this is based on the upcoming banners and so on, what I'm going to be shard farming. I'm not planning to draw for any new heroes, and so that means I'm not going to have to farm up any new heroes as a result, which is a good thing because I have so many heroes I need to currently finish up, especially since the Apex playoffs is supposed to start December 5th and December 6th. So my current plan is that I'm going to finish up Ariane Rod, I'm going to finish up Licorice, I'm going to finish up Hiei, all of which should hit 6 stars before the playoffs. And also Hobo should be able to reach 5 stars for the playoffs as well. So that raises 3 of the characters that I'm currently using for sure to 6 stars. Hobo will be 5 stars, and it just makes my Apex box that much better. So let's jump into the game and cover what I did on November 1st, this past Sunday, where I did my accessory box purchases and also time traveling merchant. Going to start with the time traveling merchant though. Let's just start with exchanging items as always, and let's just queue up all these items here for now. So all my silver items now don't really give me all that much points anymore. 4,743. And most of it is actually concentrated in those experience potions, it looks like. Yep. So let's see. Let's just add the SR items, the gold potions, and that just takes care of it right there. So there we go. So actually, I should continue to farm up this for the potions, sorry, because you can trade those in. In any case, let's take a look. Good items on this first page. 10 skin vouchers, 3 wheels of fate, 3 more wheels of fate that were cheap as well, and I may as well pick up the 150,000 gold. So ignore the other ones, I really don't need them. How many more exchanges do I have to do? 44. Okay, let's go to the next page though. On the second page, more skin vouchers. Yes! Any key, no. Crystal selection pack, I might as well. I have so many crystals already though. It's like I'm buying these packs more so that I can get purchases than anything else. The Bond Elves, I've actually been using them up, so I should buy this. Yeah, for example, Spirit of Mist are down to 1. So that's the second page, just the skin vouchers really. Let's refresh. For the third page, Automatin, some more crystals that I don't necessarily need, but I'm buying anyways. A Big Bros Burger, 2 Devout Gloves. You know what, let's just buy it. And for the rest, I'm going to ignore. Because, I mean, this would be a purchase if I just wanted to get more purchases to unlock the next level, but whatever. Screw it. Next page. So, 1 more Big Bros Burger. I think that's it. HP Surge Stone. Oh, let's buy that too. Okay, so there were no more Gates of Fate runs after that first page, but I did get 2 more purchases of skin vouchers and HP Surge Stone. So overall, not too shabby. I'll definitely take it all. Then after this, it's time to go into the store. So I didn't really mention this, but this week I used 90 more Trinity vouchers on trying to draw on this Crystal Prophecy. Didn't get an SSR. So I am at pity rate. So I'm just gonna hold this pity rate until the Overlord banner, I suspect. So I'm not gonna be drawing on any banner for like the next the next 7 weeks or so, but that's okay. I'll sit on this pity rate and be able to get an SSR, guaranteed SSR as soon as I draw on the Overlord banner. Other than that, the reason I mentioned this is because with all those extra gambles, I can now extract memory of a lot of shards of heroes to get 4,730 memory essence. Now, part of this came from all those Starina shards that we got from the previous event, but I definitely need this memory essence so I can do the 2 SSR accessory purchases of the month. So here we go. First one is to drop near. Second one is a Vidar's Rose. And the third one is a Holy Ring. Since the only thing I'm really looking for now is a Sorcerer's Medal, it kind of sucked. But what can you do? So I just purchased a few more things, and I think that is it. A shame, a shame. I was hoping to get a Swordsmith, but I think that's what I hope for every single week. Alright, so I'm just going to break down. I'll keep the Holy Ring, but I'll break down the drop near. And I'll also keep the Vidar's Rose because I might be considering building up a second Vidar's Rose this way. So I have a level 30 Vidar's Rose by feeding this into that one. So next, I guess I'll go back and start covering my account and what has changed. So next up is to talk about, I guess, some of my heroes. So I've been re-enchanting a whole bunch, increasing the attack of a lot of my characters, and giving up survivability as a result. So if you can see here, for example, Zerda, she used to have a lot more hit points. Now it's just 3,723 hit points plus 2,074. A lot of the enchants have gotten attack increases 4 or 5%. At the cost of not providing any real hit point increase. But if it allows me to actually assassinate additional characters, it's a worthy trade. So for example, that's happened for Zerda. It's happened for Ares so far. Rolled a whole bunch of SSR enchants, got my attack increases, but didn't get any good hit point rolls for it. But once again, as I mentioned, the goal is to get these damage dealers up to a 35% attack increase as opposed to what they currently have to make sure they can one-shot enemies that I attack. So that's kind of a work in progress that I'm working on right now. I'm also going to be adjusting Gizaroth, I feel. If I can get really good enchants on Gizaroth, like high hit point enchants with high int, I'm very likely going to change my Gizaroth into the mage class, rather than leaving him in the demon class. Demon, while it does have better stats, does really struggle against holy class characters. And the holy class characters that you're facing are steadily increasing. For example, there is Langrisser, there is Yulia, there is Yusuke, there is Shafaniel, there is now Hobo, right? I've even met a whole bunch of Mayas who are holy class. So with all these holy class characters that are actually very viable for PvP purposes, I just cannot keep Gizaroth in his current demon class, or that's how I'm feeling. So very likely Gizaroth will eventually get adjusted into a mage and we'll go from there. So lots of little adjustments there. Gear wise though, I haven't gotten any amazing enchants in the past 2 weeks. And in terms of training ground, I've just been steadily making various upgrades. Lancer training ground has gotten a few more upgrades. Defense and magic defense are now up at 48%. Definitely need to increase the hit points a bit. I'm considering about whether attack is actually important, because I generally use Lancers simply as tanking troops, right? So the Sun Colossus are at level 10, for example. I don't even have Amazon Champions leveled, because in order to use Amazon Champions, I clearly have to increase the attack value, for example. This continued combat tech is now at level 9, and I plan to finish up this one to level 10 for the extra 3% damage taken decrease as long as soldier hit points is below 70%. So that would just really help toughen up the Stone Colossi whenever they're below 70%, for example. Other than that, so definitely going to be doing some of these hit point upgrade techs, defense upgrade techs, right? And that's kind of my priority for this training ground at this time, just increasing the toughness of the soldiers that I use. Cavalry training ground also got a few more upgrades. The Fine Steel Hooves is now at level 9, so one more upgrade and it's at the maximum of level 10. I'm considering whether I should do this upgrade as well, Rapid Routes, but that's kind of I'll look into that later. So those I think are like the last 2 upgrades I really need to focus on, because I don't particularly care about reduced damage when you're attacking. And that would, if I manage to actually finish up these 2, my cavalry training ground is, as far as I'm concerned, complete. I don't really have that much interest in upgrading their hit points. Flyer and Aquatic is another training ground I am upgrading, right? And I want to upgrade the defense and magic defense values of this training ground. So that relies on Pretty Sprays and Brown Essential Oils. So, and here it uses Crazy Shorts and Brown Essential Oils. So you can see, Pretty Sprays, Brown Essential Oils, just what the materials that I really need right now to further upgrade this training ground. Archer and Assassin, I would love to upgrade it. It's not a priority right now because I'm focusing on already Lancers and Flyer and Aquatic. And then Holy and Demon Training Ground, this one is pretty close to completion, right? The absolute max is 70, 70, 70. I'm kind of, when I get the spare resources, I'm kind of incrementally upgrading the techs here. So it also uses Pretty Sprays as well as Devout Gloves. So you can kind of see, like, and this one uses Burning Straps and Devout Gloves. So it's just like, and finally there is one more upgrade here for the core defense, which needs its Pretty Sprays and Devout Gloves yet again. So it is kind of fortunate that Holy and Demon uses completely different materials than Lancer Training. So Lancer Training, for example, is eating up the oils and the shorts, while Holy and Demon is eating up my sprays and what was it? Sprays, gloves, and I think straps. Yeah, and straps. So since it's kind of split resources, I can kind of upgrade both. Oh, and one other thing is my Pious Faith tech has been maximized. So as when Holy hit points is above 80%, damage dealt is increased by 30. So this training ground is very, very near completion. One thing that I'm wondering is whether I really should continue upgrading Lancers, because by 2nd anniversary, which is January 2021, the new techs for these training grounds will be released. So with those new techs, you're going to have another new upgrades to do for these training grounds. So more and more, I might very well just continue to upgrade Holy and Demon, Flyer, and maybe Aquatic, and I may very well just abandon the Lancer training as it is. Just get maybe this final tech upgraded, continued combat, and leave it alone, because I realize I actually don't think I can afford to upgrade that. I want to be able to upgrade Holy and Demon, Flyer and Aquatic, and Cavalry as soon as the new techs are released. So I might very well just decide to stockpile resources instead of upgrading Lancer and training any further. So one of those things, just need to, I guess, make a decision there, and that's very likely what I'm going to do. So that's the Holy and Demon Training Ground. Apex Arena, right? 30 days left in the race. I'm not really playing any further matches at this point. Just maybe 1 or 2 per week to get my weekly win, right? The ranked victory win, and just slowly, incrementally increase in my score to make sure I stay in the top 256 for the playoffs. That's pretty much it. 1 or 2 matches will also give me just a little bit of practice in Apex Arena to familiarize myself with my new box so that I'm ready for the playoffs, maybe. Yeah, playoffs for me is always awkward because I always feel that if I get eliminated in the first round, that's the highest chance of me getting eliminated. If I get past the first round, I should have a decent chance of getting further in, but very often I get eliminated in the first round. So that's the Apex playoffs setup. So really it's just, yeah, gearing up for the Apex playoffs now. Just steady incremental upgrades to equipment enchants to training ground, and we'll see how I do when the playoffs arrive. Of course, I also have to make sure characters like Deedlit have access to their 3C when it's released. So Deedlit, Illustrial are definitely characters I'm going to upgrade since I used them both. And not too much else needs to be said right now. That's pretty much it. Nothing else I can think of anyways. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone. I hope you found this video informative and useful to you. And on that note, Nitro out.